Just out marking a few queens that I haven't done yet. Getting the apiary strips in, which yes, I should be wearing gloves for, but I'm not. There's just a few to get in here, but overall I'm seeing beautiful colonies. I'm going to put the camera down and I'm going to hopefully show you just how nice these colonies are looking, because we've got the sun in the right direction. I'm hoping that you can see that, but this is what I'm seeing. So I've got the queen in here. She's been marked. She's marked blue, and there she is. So people are saying to me, oh, you did loads of late queen rearing this year, you won't have very good colonies. Well, don't forget we're in Brittany here, we're a little bit further south, so we'll have brood rearing until the temperature drops off in about mid-November, early November. But it is getting later every year. It's almost like we don't get a winter now, and some years we don't seem to get a winter. But we will, and then the colonies shut down, and then we seem to do quite well on our vaporizing, because it seems that the bees are at their most broodless at that period. So we reckon end of November to mid-December is probably when they're at their most broodless. So what am I seeing here on these colonies? I'm seeing some of the first bees hatching, but I'm also seeing extra brood being laid. And the colonies aren't being blocked up yet, which is great. See, that's brood there, the nice colour, biscuity brood. And you can see the larvae underneath, absolutely glistening white, perfect frame. And at this end, you'll probably see eggs. There's liquid there, but they've left a space and laid just to there. So I'm not sure if you can see that. So there's the eggs. I'll just tilt it both ways. Maybe you can see those eggs when we come back this way with the light. Anyway, there's eggs in that corner. So what I'm saying is we're seeing a great laying pattern from these queens that is very surprising. Both sides, that's just one frame. So I'll drag out the next frame. Really nice bees in this colony. And don't forget, these are still the old bees mostly from, because the new bees have hardly hatched yet, but that's my point. We're just getting, on this frame, we're just getting some hatching here, whereas the rest now, that's been relayed. There's eggs in there as well. That's been relayed. So we're getting that first turn of brood. So this brood is hatching out, and the bees are busily working to prepare the cells for the queen to lay in here, which she's mostly done. And as the bees hatch out there, you can see one just hatching there. They'll be cleaning that cell again, getting it ready for her to lay. So at the end of a newly mated queen's first cycle, there is a bit of a problem sometimes, which can induce supersedure, where the queen isn't perceived to be doing her job properly, because she can only lay so much brood, because basically she runs out of room. But there's only a certain amount of bees available to look after that brood and keep the colony warm. So she's not at her maximum. She's not allowed to go into maximum lay, because the bees kind of haven't got enough resources for her. Just look at that, beautiful. And this corner as well. But what my point is, if you have a breeder queen that you haven't successfully introduced, or a queen that's a little bit special, you really are better off adding a frame of emerging brood after about 2 weeks. Because what that does, it brings in, look at that frame as well. That brings in new nurse bees, and those bees were happy to do all the nursery work when they're raising other bees. Just look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got larvae there just to the edge and eggs afterwards. Eggs on the edge. So she's constantly on these 3 frames, just laying into where she can. But as soon as more of that brood hatches out, she's away. She'll increase her laying more, and she will be able to lay almost constantly, then even though it's going into the autumn, she'll do that for a while she can, because this colony is big enough on bees. There's more bees coming on already. The flow is about to start, and they will be able to bring in a lot of nectar and a lot of pollen to store them up for the winter. And there's a lot of kind of evidence to say that if we put all our colonies into nucs over the winter and we downsize them, we'd rotate frames more. So in that respect, we'd probably renew the wax and the colonies better. But we'd also have bursting colonies in the spring that would quickly fill a brood box, probably quicker than they would do if they were in a standard brood box. That's a matter of debate, but it's an interesting thing to think about, because you create more colonies as well when you do that, and you rotate the combs more. You know, you can see the ivy there now, just about to burst open. When it comes out in a couple of days, and it literally is a couple of days, it will be everywhere. So I'm just going through these nucs, checking them all. They've all had their apivar treatments now, and I'm only giving apivar treatments to where I see either a virgin that looks like she's starting to lay, or a laying colony with brood, because apivar is expensive. I think it works out about €4.50 to treat a hive, and there's obviously one strip per nuc. So that's why nucs is also good as well, because you only need one strip. And as I said before, and I don't like using that quote now because I say it so much, but I have said before that I do rotate what I cage and what I treat with either apivar or any other treatment. I do rotate that as part of my integrated pest management kind of protocol that I use in here. But beautiful day here, nice to be out doing some bees, looking at frames, and it kind of almost makes all the hard work this year kind of worth it when you get a few days like this. So looking nice. Got more feed on there. I've got these little bits of honey to take off in a minute, and then those colonies have their treatments too. They've had the bee escapes on for a couple of days. So there's one there, one there, one there, two there. That was my cell builders, and honey from there. So there's a little bits of honey everywhere to come off. It all adds up. There's probably another 20-30 kilos of honey here, which is definitely worth having, but that'll be off and out of the way. And then I'm going to move these hives to other apiaries where they need apiary numbers bolstering up, and then everything will be much better. So all good. Let's get this all back together and just enjoy the moment. Bye for now.